On a wet night in Munich, a rock star with two missing front teeth is being dragged into a police van, screaming, he's not a gangster. He's the lead singer of one of Britain's biggest bands. But by the time this video is over, you'll understand why we're calling these British Mafia stars. 12 household names who lived like they were untouchable and found out the hard way that they weren't. Here's the thing nobody tells you about British fame. The more respectable the face on your telly, the easier it is to hide what's underneath. Stick around, because by the time we hit number 1, you'll never look at National Treasure the same way again. That's the open loop, and we're paying it off at the end. Before that, smash subscribe, ring the bell, and drop a comment telling us which one of these 12 shocks you most. Jonathan King. In the 1960s and 70s, King wasn't just a pop star, he was the man who made pop stars. He discovered Genesis, he signed 10cc, he launched the Bay City Rollers. Industry insiders called him a genius. In 2001, an Old Bailey jury called him something else, guilty. King was convicted of sexually abusing 5 teenage boys, aged 14 and 15, luring them to his home across the 1980s using exactly the currency you'd expect, his own celebrity. He was sentenced to 7 years and placed on the sex offenders register for life. Here's what's wild about this. The industry that let him discover endless teenage talent never once asked why so much of that talent was underage. This is the part people miss. Fame didn't corrupt King, it just gave him a better hiding place. Chris Langham. BAFTA-winning, critically adored, the star of The Thick of It, Langham was the actor other actors respected. In 2005, Kent police arrested him as part of a nationwide investigation into online child abuse images. His defense in court was almost unbelievable. He claimed the material was research for a comedy character. The jury didn't buy it. In 2007, he was convicted on 15 counts and jailed. And that's exactly why this excuse should worry you more than comfort you. It's the same justification abusers have used for decades, dressed up in a BAFTA winner's vocabulary. The BBC cut all ties within 24 hours of sentencing. Dave Lee Travis. For 2 decades, DLT was one of the biggest voices on BBC Radio 1, a top-of-the-pops fixture with millions of devoted listeners. In 2012, Operation U-Tree came for him. Here's what makes his story different from the others on this list. He was cleared of a dozen charges. But one stuck, a 1995 indecent assault on a 22-year-old researcher, a woman under 5 feet tall, whom he pinned against a wall. Convicted 2014, he walked free with a suspended sentence. Would you have made the same choice the jury did? Separate the one proven incident from the wall of accusations around it. That's the uncomfortable nuance most true crime videos skip entirely. Fred Talbot. Every morning, families across the Northwest watched this cheerful weatherman leap across a floating map of Britain on live television. What they didn't know, Talbot had already been quietly forced out of teaching in 1984 after propositioning 2 students. It took until 2015 for a jury to convict him of indecently assaulting former pupils on school trips, and a second Scottish trial in 2017 added 4 more years. Here's what's wild about this. His genial weatherman persona wasn't a mask over the truth. It was recruited as the tool. We're only halfway through these British Mafia stars, and honestly, the next name might be the one that surprises you the most, because this one isn't about abuse. It's about addiction the whole country watched happen in real time. George Michael. One of the best-selling British artists of all time, a Wham icon turned solo superstar, and by 2010, a man whose addiction had become impossible to ignore. That July, Michael crashed his Range Rover into a London photo shop while high on cannabis. A judge sentenced him to 8 weeks in prison, calling his addiction a mistake which puts you and the public at risk. This is the part people miss. Unlike most names on this list, Michael's crime never hurt anyone but himself and a shopfront. Yet the tabloids covered it like a scandal on par with anything else here. Fame doesn't just hide your crimes. Sometimes it inflates them. Keith Richards. In February 1967, police raided the Rolling Stones guitarist country estate, Redlands, arresting him alongside Mick Jagger. Richards was convicted of allowing his home to be used for smoking cannabis and sentenced to a year in prison, spending 1 night in Lewes jail before the conviction was thrown out on appeal a month later, after even the Times' famously conservative editor accused the court of crushing a butterfly on a wheel. It didn't end there. In 1977, Toronto police arrested him for heroin trafficking, a charge that could have meant life imprisonment. He walked away with a suspended sentence and an order to play a benefit concert for the blind. Would you have made the same choice as that Toronto judge? Mercy for a rock star that an anonymous young man would never have received. Pete Doherty. Libertine's frontman, tabloid fixture, a man whose relationship with heroin became more famous than half his songs. By 2009, courts had heard he'd racked up 21 separate drug offenses and 6 motoring convictions, and he was arrested again outside the courtroom after sentencing, when heroin literally fell out of his coat pocket. That's not bad luck. That's a pattern, and it's exactly why every final chance the courts gave him kept getting used up. Jeffrey Archer. Best-selling novelist, conservative peer, a man who'd built an empire on courtroom thriller plots, until he became the plot. In 1987, he won a libel case and £500,000 after a newspaper claimed he'd paid a prostitute. 12 years later, his own former friend revealed Archer had faked an alibi to win it. In 2001, he was convicted of perjury and perverting the course of justice, sentenced to 4 years, and stripped of his political career. Here's what's wild about this. The same instinct for a killer plot twist that made him millions as an author is exactly what put him in Belmarsh prison. Adam Ant. The face of British New Wave, a genuine 80s icon, and in 2002, a man in the grip of a documented manic episode that ended with him threatening pub patrons with a starting pistol after they mocked his outfit. He pleaded guilty to a fray and was placed under psychiatric care rather than sent to prison. This is the part people miss. This isn't a story about a wild rock star. It's a story about an entertainment industry that let a mental health crisis play out in tabloids before anyone offered him actual help. Katie Price. Reality TV's most enduring survivor, a woman who's turned scandal into a career for over 2 decades. In 2021, she crashed her car near her Sussex home while disqualified from driving, uninsured, and over the drink drive limit, telling police on the scene, "I took drugs. I should not be driving. I admit it all." She received a suspended prison sentence. Would you have made the same choice to keep watching, keep clicking, keep buying the magazines? Because her fame was built on us doing exactly that, crisis after crisis, for 20 years. Oliver Reed. One of the biggest British film stars of the 1970s, a man whose drinking was marketed as charm, Hellraiser became practically an affectionate nickname in the press. In 1981, a Vermont bar brawl ended with Reed pleading no contest to 2 counts of assault. British newspapers ran it as a laugh. That's not bad luck. That's a pattern the industry chose to find entertaining instead of alarming for the entire length of his career. Liam Gallagher. Which brings us back to where we started. In December 2002, the Oasis frontman and his bandmates got into a mass brawl with a group of men at a 5-star Munich hotel. 20 officers stormed the lobby. Liam lost his front teeth, was handcuffed, and was later found to have kicked an armed policeman with full force. In 2004, a German court fined him roughly £60,000 after he admitted his role. Here's what's wild about this. The same rock star chaos that sold out stadiums for a decade ended quite literally, with a police officer's ribs on the receiving end of it. That's the real difference between these British Mafia stars and actual organised crime. Nobody ever called it that until it was too late to laugh it off. 12 household names. 12 real convictions. Some hid their crimes for decades behind a beloved public face. Some had their addictions and their crises turned into punchlines by a press that profited off every headline. If this opened your eyes, hit that like button, subscribe for more, and tell us in the comments which of these British Mafia stars shocked you the most. We'll see you next time.